Okay, welcome to our two-part webinar on creating your social media strategy for 2022. And if you've been following these courses throughout every month, we did have something like this back in January. And throughout 2021, so many different things have changed with social media, especially if you use Instagram or Facebook. There's a lot of new things coming up. And also, I thought it would be a good opportunity wrapping up 2021 with a strategy in place for 2022. So we will be meeting this session, and then we'll have another session on the 15th at the same time. So in today's webinar, the first part is, we're just going to talk about why even have a strategy, why does it matter? And then I've outlined for day one 5 steps to get started. And what the objective is that you'll have these 5 steps over the next 2 weeks. Work on these 5 steps, identifying all these components, and then in our second session, now what do you do? So often we get like this first component, but we don't know, how do I apply it? How do I create my posting strategy? We can have a great strategy, but if we don't have a posting strategy, then all the planning in the world doesn't make any sense. So the next session will be just putting it all together, putting our plans into action. So many of you may or may not know who I am. So just a quick introduction. My name is Roxanne Best. I am a recovering do all the things addict. And right now I'm focusing my business on creating opportunities and spaces for people who are looking to get out of their own way and step into their own awesome person. I have a different word for it, but I want to keep it PG. But just having the tools and opportunities to step into your own ideas, your business, your whatever it is you're looking to accomplish in life. And I do that through coaching, trainings like this. I also am a photographer and a yoga instructor. So I take all of those things together, and I do what I can to support my community and the communities that I work with, which is one of them is the IDRS family. And why should you have a social media strategy? So I have to remind myself we only have an hour, and I do want to leave time for questions. So I'm going to just get through this part and then make sure that we have that time for questions. You can post questions in the Q&A section. You can also post questions in the chat. I can't promise I'll get to those right away, but at the end, I want to leave 10 to 15-ish minutes so we can have questions and answers. So why have a strategy? One of the biggest reasons is, I know in my business, when I don't have a plan, when I don't have a system in place, oftentimes important dates or events will come up like Black Friday, Shop Small Saturday, Cyber Monday, all of these holiday dates. I had no plan of a promotion for my business. What a missed opportunity. And so I am going into 2022 with the plan so that I'm not just trying to scrape an idea together at the final hour. And so that I know that Black Friday, Shop Small Saturday, today is Wednesday, Women-Owned Business Wednesday, and all of these opportunities to promote my business. So that December is a really high sales month in my business. So those are some of the goals I'm looking at in my own business. And as I was working through these strategies for myself, I thought, wow, this would be really valuable for other people so that they don't run into the same issue. And that's when I originally created this in January, and then revisiting it again here in December. But no more last minute promotions. Have a strategy, have something in place so we know what we're doing and putting together. You'll also be able to create more effective cash flow projections for the year. If you're not doing this in your business already, this is something that, when we're planning our budgeting and everything for the following year, we can look and understand some trends that are happening in our industry and in our business. And, I'm going to have a promotion going on, and I know that a bunch of people are going to jump on that promotion. So you can kind of predict to a certain extent how much money you'll be having coming in during those promotional times in your business, which will also lead to a better marketing budget. Like, you'll be able to see, okay, I know February is coming up, and in February, Valentine's Day is going to be here. So I sell things, or I have services that are fantastic for the Valentine's Day marketing, jump on that marketing bandwagon. And, that's couples. And now there's a whole another trend, which I'm jumping on, which is the single person Valentine's Day. So, what would your strategy be? Like, don't wait until February 14th to start promoting it. Start training your customers and your clients to be looking forward to what is that thing that they will be offering on February 14th. So if it's something that you're delivering and will be consumed on Valentine's Day, you can't sell it on Valentine's Day, right? You've got to have a plan of how is it going to be purchased and delivered and accessible by Valentine's Day. So these are all the things that having a strategy will help us to accommodate. I went down a different rabbit hole than marketing budget, but knowing in February that I'm going to be having a promotion for couples yoga, let's say, I would start probably promoting it at the end of the last week in January, and just start talking about that and paying promotion. So then I can look at my marketing budget and know that in January and the first couple of weeks in February, my promotional budget is going to be a little bit higher because I'm promoting this specific event or sale. Identify opportunities that you may not have been aware of. By creating this big 3,000-foot view of the year, we're able to maybe identify, like, hey, I didn't even think of Valentine's Day, or different things that we're going to talk about later on in more detail. So identifying opportunities. You can complete a big portion of your marketing strategy, which is that part of your business plan. If you're working on a business plan, by doing this, you're updating that marketing strategy in your business plan, if you already have one, to an updated version. Be more realistic and intentional about how you're spending your time on social media. I don't know about you, but if I don't have a plan and I jump on social media, it turns into 2 hours of watching reels and TikToks and people's stories and commenting, and with no purpose. When we have a strategy in place, we can set a time. Let's say Monday at this time, I create my content for the week. And then every day at this time, my post goes out. And so I know I have to, engage 30 minutes before my post is going to go. And then for about 30 minutes after. So there's about an hour of time where we're looking at engaging and interacting on social media every day. And so we are doing it with intention, so that it isn't an hour gone by of, oh, I just wait, where did that hour go? And, but when we're on the platform with an intention, we know that we're there for a specific purpose, and we can feel better about our time on social media. And reverse engineer your promotion plan. That Valentine's Day example is a good idea of how we can reverse engineer it. I know, like, if you're selling a product that is consumed on Valentine's Day, you need to reverse engineer, when do I need to start promoting this and talking about Valentine's Day? Usually a good idea is, when are the stores starting to put Valentine's Day stuff out? And that's usually when it's a good time to start, like, at least dropping hints that you're going to have a Valentine's Day product or service available. So then you can create that promotional strategy, your posting strategy, how you're going to show up online, so that people are buying whatever it is in time for you. If you have to ship something out, if you have to create something, you have to have that buffer so that your deliverable arrives on the date that it's intended to be delivered. Or if you're having an event or whatever that might be. So you can reverse engineer your promotion strategy and better measure your return on investment. So return on investment, this is time spent on social media. This is money spent on promotion. This is money spent on doing market research, so you're better able to like say, okay, I did this Valentine's Day promotion this year and it did really well. How might I do something similar, but better or different going into 2022? And you can measure, and maybe you did a St. Patrick's Day promotion and it didn't go so well. So you can look at that and say, okay, this was money well spent on Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, not so much. So, this is where we can start really getting a better measure of where we're spending our time and our money. So first things first, laying the foundation. If you are new in business or you're an organization that offers services, or you are a solopreneur who offers products and services or whatever it is, if you don't know what your products and services are, you need to start there. So anything else that I talk about, until you get this foundation, nothing else is really going to matter. Unless you're a influencer and you're looking for people to sponsor you and send you stuff different. But even then, you haven't identified what your product or service is. It's you. I'm an influencer. When I show people a product that I'm using, your sales will increase. Like I think like the Kardashians, or anyone who sees something that I think still relevant, like Oprah, she just has to say, oh, I read this book, and then it makes the New York Times bestseller list. So that's an influencer, but that's still a product. That's still a service that you're delivering. And if you don't define that and you don't know what it is, your social media strategy and your intentions will fall flat. So first things first, oops, sorry. I don't want to create a poll. So first thing we're going to do is identify your products and services. So make a list, name each item or service that you offer. Name it, like create a name for it. It can be like product A, product B, but have something that is identifiable for each product. And then identify 3 to 5 benefits that are benefits to the customer of your product or service. Some examples that you might list are, what problem or pain point is it addressing? How does it solve that problem or pain point? And then what is some emotional appeal that you can incorporate? And then the features, these are the specs. These are the dimension, the size, the color, and the next slide goes into specs. But I want to stay here for a second, because 3 to 5 benefits to the customer. Why does this matter? Because when we're putting promotional material out in social media, we can speak intelligently to it in a way that isn't salesy. If I were to say, I have a yoga class, it's 60 minutes, it costs $15, it's a Zoom class, and we're going to do some yoga poses. And it's a Hatha style class. And you need a yoga mat, and you need a yoga block, and a yoga strap, and comfortable clothes to wear. Those are the specs. But if I'm doing I'm doing an online yoga class, and I'm identifying, like, why do people go to yoga? What are the reasons that most people are attracted to a yoga class? And I list all those out. They're looking to increase mobility. They want to reduce stress. They've read some studies about how amazing it is on, helping to reduce the stress hormones and like all that stuff. So I'd be talking about that in my posts. Research shows that people who attend yoga on a regular basis have a whatever decrease in cortisol levels. I just threw those out there. Those aren't actually, obviously there were no numbers behind it, but that's the kind of stuff that people are like, oh, or, are you experiencing like unexplainable weight gain or eating foods that you're not normally attracted to? This could be a stress response. And one thing that has been proven to solve this is attending yoga. And so you're having these conversations in your social media before you ever say, by the way, sign up for my yoga for stress management class and you'll get all these benefits. So all of these 3 to 5 benefits are actually part of your posting strategy on social media. So that was a really general example, but just to give you some context. The image that you see here, my friend is an aromatherapist, and we both are essential oils people, and we were hosting an essential oils class where you could make items and take them with you. And when we were sharing it with people to get them to come, it wasn't that we're like, oh, come and it was a sip and sniff class. So you were able to smell, like these were people who are already using aromatherapy and essential oils. And this was an opportunity, like if there's an oil that you're curious about and you just don't know for sure if it's one that you'd want to use. So we spoke to the pain point, because one thing that we've identified is that a lot of our customers don't buy specific things because they're not sure if they'll like the way it smells or the way it works. And so this was an opportunity for them to experience the oils and also create some products for themselves. And like a lot of people were like, I'm going to take all these recipes and I'm making my Christmas presents for all my friends. So now we have a new idea for next year's class where we're going to do a make and take for Christmas presents. And so, your ideas may not be like perfect, but do them anyway. And then you might get a better idea next time. So we weren't just saying, come to a class and we're going to make these things and you're going to get to take them, which is great. That's a feature. But the appeal was you get to experience oils that maybe you don't buy, some of the more expensive oils, some of the things that maybe you're afraid to participate or purchase because the high price point, and you're afraid to buy because you might get it and then realize you don't like it at all. So that was our appeal. So the features, I'm going to stop this screen share here in a second because I'm going to show you how I'm mapping out my products and services. And over on the right, you can see that table, and I'm listing all of my different yoga services that I'll be offering in this next year. And this is brainstorm. This is in no way like a definitive list. And I will be adding more of the benefits to my customers as I fine tune this list. But features are things like color, size, dimension, fabric, material used, the time that the person will spend, consuming your service or participating in the service that you have to offer, and then how much will it cost. And now I'm going to share my service spreadsheet so that you can see how I've mapped it out in my brainstorm. Now, keep in mind, this is a brainstorm, and while I'm here, I'm just going to pop over. Hey, Ben, hi, Ben. So good to see you. I can't see you yet, but hopefully I'll get to see you. So going over to some of the products and services that I offer, and I've decided to put it into a spreadsheet only because I'm a Virgo and that's how my brain works more effectively that way. And so I've created different tabs. So I have my coaching business. I tried to block out all my prices, but some of them still stayed because the pricing isn't like my pricing isn't relevant to what your pricing would be. But my first go at a brainstorm for coaching, these are all the different packages that I had identified, and the description, just a basic overview, quick description of each of those, how much time, and I created a full payment price. And if they're going to do a payment plan, the pricing is different. Obviously in business, if we can get full payment up front and not do a payment plan, we want to reward our customers. So in my strategy, if you pay in full up front, it's less. If you do a payment plan, it's a little bit more expensive. Yoga classes. So I identified what this category is in my business. Yoga, a description of the class, of just a basic identifier, the length of each class, and then the price. And then over here are just some notes about, it's my own little interpretation of different things, trying to figure out different categories. And then my stand-up paddleboard yoga classes, this is really changing because I'm reducing the number of locations, but I wouldn't have been able to do this and make the decisions that I'm talking to you about if I didn't just write out all the things. Like I said in my introductions, I'm a recovering, do all the things addict. And I love teaching workshops. I love teaching yoga. I love coaching, and I love photography. And so how am I going to be able to do this effectively and still like have time for life outside of work? So here I don't have any descriptions, but like photography, I have the different types of senior sessions, the branding sessions, and I don't do a lot of, I'm trying to get away from family photo sessions. So I'm, experimenting and exploring with other options. And so anyway, just to show you what this could look like. Does it have to be in a spreadsheet? No. For me, this is a good way to do it because it's easily editable. I can go in and I can add another column here, and where I'm going to put in the actual copy that I would use, a long form script that describes a senior portrait session that has the features that are outlined in the description. And from this, I'll be able to pull content, shorter posts that I'll use in my strategy. And I'm adding other columns that are peak season. And I'll show you an image here in a minute of the way that I'm mapping out my 2022 year. But anyway, I just wanted to share an example of what this can look like in your business, and how you want to, even if you don't like here, punch card A and punch card B, that isn't a name I'd want to put out as a marketing thing. I'd probably I really want to tune in like the third eye package or the root chakra package. So you might name them things that are more appealing than punch card A and punch card B, or monthly yoga series. I'm actually creating specific series themes. So yeah, but if I hadn't have done this, I wouldn't be able to have the brain capacity to then zero in on each item and get creative about it, which is what this whole first part of our session is about, is honing in and getting specific about the things that we offer in our business and why they're so awesome. Because we start our businesses, we create our products, we develop our services based on a need that we recognize and identify in our communities. And by having a strategy, we don't have to just talk about pain points. Are you struggling to lose that last 5 pounds? We've all seen those, right? Right now, our email boxes and our social media is going to start blowing up with the New Year's resolutions, with getting started on your weight loss journey or eating healthy, all of those things that are typically New Year's resolutions that we set for ourselves. So these are strategies. These people didn't just go, oh, I should do some stuff for New Year's because everyone wants to lose weight. These are plans. It's a plan of action. And you don't necessarily have to use that fear of can't lose that last 5 pounds. I have the product that's going to help you get through that. You don't have to go take that approach. You can, identify other ways, like other reasons why it's the holiday season. Can't lose that last 5 pounds because we're all enjoying grandma's apple pie and the awesome macaroni salad that my sister makes. and, you know, allow yourself to enjoy that. You can talk like that to people, even if you are promoting products or services that are all around weight loss, because you're relatable. People are like, oh my gosh, they're speaking to me. They know the struggle that I'm having right now. And they start connecting to you so that when it comes time to click the buy button, when they go like, I want to learn more about this person who gets me. And we've all experienced that on social media where we're looking at this person's posts and we see them and we're like, ah, they see me, they know what it is like my struggle. And then we go maybe look a little further. We look at their website or we look at their other social media platforms. And then we start looking like, what do they do? Like, what can I buy from them? And that's what we're creating with our strategy, as opposed to just buy this. And then, you know, when we see just buy my stuff all the time, people tune out. So before I go down a rabbit hole, I'm going to go back to my slides because I can get on a tangent, and I want to make sure that I get this whole first section in. So first thing, if you haven't done this already, identify your products and services. Identify the features, identify the benefits, and how much are you charging. The how much are you charging is really important because nobody wants to have a wishy-washy answer about how much it costs for them to buy from you. The next thing to consider is capacity. How much can you really do? Yes, based on, who knows what this number is? 2080. It's not a year. It's not like we're looking 60 years into the future, or I guess it would be 58 going into 2022. It's how many hours if we were to work 52 hours a week, 40 hours each week. That's how many available work hours we would have. So those of us that are working a 9 to 5, if you work 52 weeks a year, that's a full year, and 40 hours a week, you have 2,080 hours of work, billable hours if you're a service person. But that isn't taking into consideration holidays, sick days, vacations, or just time off for self-care. So we have to look at capacity. Even though we have the capacity to work that much, realistically, do we really put in 52 weeks a year, 40 hours a week? Some of us may work more and some of us may work a little bit less each week. And it just depends on your business, and you have to identify this. What is my capacity? And as we're going into 2022, my strategy this year is to get that 3,000 foot view of what's happening in my year with all the things that I do, so that I can start taking stuff off my calendar, which sounds really counter to what most people do in business. But, being able to I've identified the need for personal time, for self-care, other things to consider. If you are a creator and you make things, how much time do you need to create your items? If you're an artist, most of us, it takes us a while to create our end product. And then how much time are you going to spend marketing? How many items can you realistically create, market? And then once you sell that item, how much time are you going to spend packaging and shipping? Do you have to travel? How much time are you spending for setup if you're traveling, doing art shows or special events to promote your business? How much time are you spending promoting? What organizations are you volunteering with? Are you involved in your local chamber of commerce? Are you involved in your local art gallery? Are you involved in any other nonprofit organizations that are helping with your public relations? So, these are all things as business owners we often overlook as time spent. So that takes away from our capacity. If I'm as a coach, if I know that I do hourly sessions, I can't do 2,080 hours a year because I want to have some vacation. I know I'm probably going to have a few, whether they're sick days or just personal self-care days. I also know that I have to spend time marketing and packaging and creating connection with the community that I want to have as customers so that they feel safe to be my customers. So capacity, identify your capacity, write out all those non-negotiables in your life so that you know what they are. That's a little bit out of order. So the other thing to identify is your ups and downs in sales throughout the year. I've talked a little bit about this or alluded to it a little bit, but we all, depending on the industry that you're in, we all have an increase in sales and decrease in sales times. It could be throughout a day, could be throughout a week, throughout a month, or throughout the year. An example, it's an easy one, my stand-up paddleboard yoga classes, that's 3 to 4 months out of the year that I can actually do those classes. So I know for those 3 to 4 months out of the year, the sales of that product is high. During the winter, nobody's booking stand-up paddleboard yoga classes when the lakes are frozen over. So I know and I can predict my ups and downs. So as I'm looking at my social media strategy, when am I going to start promoting my stand-up paddleboard yoga classes? Is this the first week that I'm having a class? Probably not. So looking at, and this is again, how we can reverse engineer our strategy. And by identifying these ups and downs in our sales throughout the year, or like I said, throughout the day, we can identify a promotion that we might do. Like maybe nobody's booking a session for a SUP yoga class in December. Although in Washington State right now, it's like spring, it's beautiful outside. But what I could do is have a promotion where I'm saying book 3 or pay for 3 SUP yoga sessions in the summer season now, give them as Christmas gifts, gift certificates. So in December, even though I'm not booking those classes, I could have a strategy in place where I'm selling gift cards or stocking stuffers. And maybe I commission an artist to create little stand-up paddleboard yoga, SUP yoga boards that I can include with the gift certificate. All these things that I'm thinking about now that, yes, it's going to be in December that I'm implementing it. But if I'm working with an artist to create these things or even getting them made, I need to start thinking about it now. So ups and downs in sales throughout the year, identifying when we have lulls. If you're an artist who is going out and doing a lot of in-person art shows or art markets, typically those happen during like the summer months or the spring, fall, summer timeframe. When winter comes, those outdoor markets generally stop happening. They do happen in those areas of the world or the country that it never gets too cold. But there is definitely a season to the art market scene. So we need to be aware of that. What are we doing in the off season to keep our customers engaged, to keep our customers informed? And so this is where identifying that is important. So here is my 3,000-foot view of my 2022 calendar so far. And this has only been me working on it for a week. And as I'm getting booked and as I'm scheduling things out, I'm marking it off my calendar, the things that are non-negotiable, the things that I've already committed to. And I'm just using sticky notes and washi tape or whatever. I never say it right, but I'm marking off holidays, local and special events that I know that I want to be a part of, any time off, vacations or self-care days, any commitments that I've already made for 2022 and other key dates in 2022. So in my calendar, like this is not a beautiful photo. I literally just took it before we started class and put it in the slideshow because it's really helpful to see an approach. This is one approach. My strategy before was getting a yearly planner, and every month I would look at the month, and I was overbooking and I was never getting time off. And so now with this big view of my calendar, I can see where I need to stop teaching weekly yoga classes because it's stand-up paddleboard yoga season. Or I need to, make sure that I'm scheduling workshops that I'm already booked for, or one-on-one clients, coaching clients, all the different things. I can look at my calendar and fill it in. And like I said, right now I'm filling in all the things. And then once by the end of the day, December 15th, I will be pulling things off if I don't have any space for self-care, a vacation, and time to myself. Which no matter who you are, that is so important. That part is vital. Treat yourself like you're your highest paying customer. And if you wouldn't cancel on your highest paying customer, don't cancel on yourself. I am an expert at canceling on myself. And I trust me, it's so important that you make that time for family, that you make that time for yourself. And so put that in your calendar as a non-negotiable. I'm still looking at where that's going to fit in my calendar. So there's no sticky or no tape that represents that. But this is what I feel like is working really well for me as opposed to that looking monthly at things. So how will you do this for yourself? So this is an example of a blank calendar that I can send this to Lynn and she can send you the downloads. I like this probably the best is sit down, take some time and write down all the important holidays, events, everything that you want to make sure that you're blocking time off or being aware of. National holidays, local holidays and events, cultural holidays and events, and then maybe customer specific dates. If you sell big packages or big items, my coaching clients that book multiple months with me, I know their birth dates. I know, certain information about them from an intake form when we do our first session. And then I can send them a little note saying, hey, I just want to wish you happy birthday on your special day. And whatever might be relevant based on what I know about that customer. And, those are nice things. And I'm not saying, oh, and for your birthday, you get 10% off. No, it's just happy birthday. Enjoy your day. And maybe send a little gift. You might have like the date we've been working together now for 2 years, and I just want to celebrate our 2-year anniversary. And I just want to reflect back to you all the milestones that you have reached over the last 2 years to get you to the awesome place you are right now. So these are just different things, dates that you would want to identify. Some other, maybe national holidays isn't really a thing that you care about in your business, but probably should be aware of when they're coming. Local holidays and events. Events are things like community. Like in my community, we have an event called Okanagan Days, and it happens the same weekend every year in June. And I always miss it because I never mark it off on my calendar. This year, I'm going to have a booth and I'm going to promote my stand-up paddleboard business and all my coaching and yoga, and probably offer some free classes. But I'm planning, even though it's in June, I'm looking at it now on my calendar. I'm looking at February for that couples yoga session. I'm looking at January for, people that are looking to do the boot camp. The unboot camp is a thing that I'm working on. So all these things are coming together only because I'm taking that big view and I'm identifying those important dates. Powwows, why am I blanking? Art markets, museum or gallery dates, craft shows, Christmas, Thanksgiving, or Turkey Day, I guess is what I call it now. Any holidays that your business may be able to optimize a promotion strategy around. And then dates and holidays that are important to my business. So once you've identified all the dates and holidays, then you go, okay, knowing my product and service, which ones would be the best for me to focus on to promote what I have to offer? And then make that list. And then I would suggest having at least one thing every month, not having so many things every month, but have a theme for each month. And that'll help with your social media planning and your strategy. So thinking about your ideal customers and your product and service, what dates, do they buy? This is thinking about like, when are people looking at buying Valentine's Day presents? If you're a guy, it's probably on Valentine's Day. But so looking at those, sorry, I did not mean that against men, because I do know a lot of men who are great Valentine's Day planners. And so identifying those dates and holidays that are important to your business specifically. And then establish some monthly goals. So I like this. This is another principle that you'll have access to. This is space for you to write out your goals each month based on the dates that you decide to focus on, as well as any special events that you may have coming up for your business or that you're putting on. So if you know that you are facilitating a massive event in March and it's going to take up a lot of your time, you may not want to commit to very many other things in March because of that. So again, by having this big view, this 3,000-foot view of our year, we can be more intentional moving forward. So then you come up with your monthly goals. Monthly goals could be, in January, I'm going to post a lot of inspirational quotes, and maybe at the end of January, start offering, a product or service that I'm delivering in February. I don't know. But anyway, so that's an example. It could be January, I'm a health and fitness instructor. So I'm going to start my boot camp and get people signed up for my boot camp. So January's theme is all about the boot camp is happening. You're posting about people in your boot camp and their progress and how awesome it is. You're inspiring people because you've got another one starting in April. So if you want to get in on this awesomeness, see what we're doing right now, you can be a part of this cool community in April. So, again, what are you focusing on? So it can be whatever it is relative to your business. And what will you be promoting each month? So write down what you are going to focus on each month. Pick one thing, and then you'll be able to decide like inventory levels. If you know that in June you're going to do your first art market of the year and you're an artist, how many pieces do you want to have in June for that show? But if you're only looking at it that way, you might have another show in July, and then August and September and October. So you're not just looking at June with this strategy. Now you're looking at all of those months and thinking, this is how much I need to create in order to have all the pieces necessary to get me through the whole art market season. And this is not just artists. This is service providers. This is people who are, doing and selling products that can be mass produced, that aren't contingent or relying on you, the creator, to create them. Maybe you did all the work before and now you're just providing a product that can be manufactured. But again, supply, make sure you have the right inventory levels for the things that are coming up. I'm keep going back to February because I'm really focused on February in my business right now, January and February. But if you know that you make jewelry that could be promoted and marketed and sold as Valentine's Day gifts in February, making sure that you have enough inventory to accommodate that demand. So the next step is identifying your purpose. So once you have that big view of your calendar, you've identified your important dates, you've identified, what you're going to promote in each month, you've identified some goals for yourself each month, for your business each month. Now think about, why do I want to post on social media? What is the purpose? And there's several different reasons to have a social media account. Sometimes it's you just want to get more followers. It makes you feel good to have more followers. More followers is good, but having the right followers is, if you were to gain followers as a goal, I would add in gain the right followers. And the right followers are the people that will potentially be your customers or be so excited about what you're doing that they're going to share it with the people that are your customers. So gaining followers, having followers that are qualified as your customer, which requires you to have some ability to identify who your ideal customer is your reason to be on social media, to educate and inform. Maybe you don't intend to make any sales on social media. Maybe you're using it as it's intended, which is a space to be social, to connect with people. And so maybe you're just educating and informing people about your organization, about your services or your products. And, maybe you make environmentally friendly, I don't know, boxes. That's just what came to mind. And so you're educating people in your social media of your process for creating those boxes, and educating on why it's so important that we have, recyclable packaging materials and, all that stuff. So your whole thing is about educating and informing. You could be there to inspire, and you could also be there to make sales. Like, my whole point for doing all this work on social media is to make sales. But anyway, so why are you there? What is your purpose? It could also be get people to your website. But then once you get people to your website, ask, why do I want people to go to my website? And then answer those questions. Why do I want to gain followers? Why do I want to educate and inform? Why do I want to inspire? So once you answer those questions, then you can create content that is genuine and unique to who you are as a business owner. We can look at what other people are doing in our industry for inspiration or just for ideas. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to why we, the entrepreneur, we, the business owner, are putting the effort into our social media platforms. And most of us as business owners, we're looking to gain followers that will then turn into raving fans, that will then turn into customers, and not in that order specifically. Customers, then raving fans, or maybe they're a raving fan and then they become a customer when they can afford your product. But raving fans that don't buy from us are still valuable because they're going to tell their friends, their community of people who can afford to buy from you about you. So don't discount raving fans. So always ask, why am I doing this? Why am I posting this? And I'm doing a little audit on my Instagram account, and I'm like, and I see a lot of posts like, why did I put that out there? It has no purpose. But when you think about it, most of us do have a purpose for our posts. But like this one, this is an Instagram story I just screenshotted. I was just letting people know, like, hey, I'm doing stand-up paddleboard yoga. First class of the weekend is done. Got the boards loaded and ready to rock and roll home. So just, my people, my followers, they get a kick out of it. This got a lot of comments and a lot of private messages. And when's your next class? This is your first class of the weekend. How many more classes do you have? And I got some more bookings from that. So not intending to get more bookings, I was just like, hey, it was there's always that fluke in marketing and business where we do something and it just happens to land in the right way. So don't forget, social media is meant to be social. Even though the primary goal of all business marketing efforts is to make a living or sell our product or service, make sure that you're creating a space that your customers and potential customers begin to know who you are and what your business is about, that they can start to like you and what your business is about, and that they can start to trust you enough that they will spend their hard-earned money with you. So I like to use the example, and I'll try to make this fast, going to a party or to an event and you meet the person of your dreams, and you know that you connect, but they don't know that you connect yet. And if you were to approach that person and just say, marry me today, I am in love with you, you're everything I ever wanted, which is how some of us communicate with our social media to our ideal customer. You're everything I need in a customer. Please buy from me. Please marry me. That person is going to like look at you like, what? And then walk away. Maybe sometimes we get lucky and they're just as odd as we are. And they're like, yes, I'm going to do it. Let's get married and let's do this. And which is the same that can happen with customers, but it is an uneasy way to build a relationship. So, you know, by taking that slow approach, hi, introducing yourself, get to know me, start to like connect with what I have to offer. And maybe we'll go out for a cup of coffee after this event sometime, and then maybe dinner, then maybe like a weekend away, and then maybe we get engaged, and then maybe we get married. So there's this process building customer loyalty, retention, and getting them to trust us. And it isn't just asking for the sale right out of the gate. So the final step is to brainstorm your ideas. So look back at the steps 3 and 4 and take each month individually, starting with January, and think about, okay, January, what are some promotional ideas for getting people to buy my product or service, or sign up for my newsletter, or whatever your objective is in that month. But just look at it. And like, if you've identified February 14th, I sell jewelry and I want to make a whole bunch of Valentine's Day gift sales. Okay, you've identified that as an objective in February. So what are some promotional ideas? And brainstorming is not filtered. Brainstorming is you write all the things out. And I recommend getting a journal that you can physically write the things out. And then you may write some ridiculous things down, but sometimes 2 or 3 ridiculous things make one really amazing idea. So don't filter your brainstorm. And you know, I would recommend maybe taking 5 or 10 minutes each day. So over 12 days, so you've got 15 days between now and our next session, and brainstorm 5 to 10 minutes on each month. So each day has a January, February, March, all the way to 12 days, and set a timer, 5 to 10 minutes. You decide what is best for you, and then just sit down and focus on that month. And what are some potential promotions or ideas for that month that you can come up with that relate to what you identified in 3 and 4. Okay. So if you know January is a slow month for you, what are some things that you can do in January? And maybe your goal is to increase sales by 50% from last year. So you go into that intentional session with that thought in mind. What are some things in January that I can do to increase sales by 50% from last year? Because maybe in November, December, you were selling like a rock star. Everything was just blowing off the shelves. You couldn't get things in the mail fast enough. And then everything came to a screeching halt in January. So 50% might be just making 10 sales. It might be making 100 sales. You know, everyone's business is different. But anyway, so each month have that focus. What is it? And that's our last step. And so this is just a post idea brainstorm. So just, you know, what did I come up with? What are some ideas that actually are realistic? So after your 5 to 10 minute brainstorm, take a break and then come back to it and look at your ideas, look at your brainstorm, and then pull ideas from that. And then what can you start to implement? And this is where you map out those ideas and, you know, what they might be. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I did this. And so how will you keep track? Oh, this is the end. This is the end of today, because next week we're going to start talking about the application, and how, once we get these ideas, these monthly brainstorms in place, once we know what we're looking to promote in our business each month, then we can start to reverse engineer a promotion strategy. And that's what next week's class is going to be all about. And I did not live up to my promise of getting us at least 5 to 10 minutes of question and answer. But if there's anyone who wants to post in the chat or has posted, and I'm going to check the Q&A and see if there are no questions there. But yeah, I just am super excited to share this information with you. And I'm finally looking at all the names of people who are here. There's so much to share about this social media topic, and there's a lot of webinars that we did throughout the year. And look at some of those topics and see if you need to take a deeper dive into those topics. Yeah, digest it in small fragments. And I loved it when the idea came up to do 2 in December, so that you have that 2-week break to really process this and do the things. Lynn from IDRS Acorn Project, this is being recorded, so there will be a follow-up email, and I'm going to send her all of those documents so that you can have access to those as well. And they may be available from the January webinar. I don't know, because these are the same downloads or printables that I created for January's webinar. We just are taking a deeper dive into it, and I'm giving you more to-dos so that you can actually implement these things. Because if you were just to listen to this webinar and not do any of it, you're going to go into 2022 with the same strategy and same approach that we've all had every single year. So I'm scared of social media. I see so much negative things. Yes, and that's something that I talk about in a different webinar about filtering your social media, what is you're seeing every day. And that's why I go on with an intention from like now for business, because there's a lot of negativity out there. And we need to make sure that we're, as business owners, as leaders in our communities, that we're protecting our energy. I mute people on Instagram and Facebook. So if they're always negative, I want to be connected, but I don't need to see the negative posts all the time. I mute them so I don't see it. If they consistently are always posting negativity, I mute, because we need more positivity. We need more positivity in our lives. Awesome. Well, we are right at 12 o'clock. So I want to thank you guys again for being here. And that is all I have if there's no questions. Yes, the forms will be coming out. Lynn will be communicating with everyone who registered to send you the recording link. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Have an amazing day and happy brainstorming. And I'm doing this right along with y'all too. So just so you know.